Everybody is supposed to introduce themselves, but didn't we already do that? Mo shokai shimashita ne. So I'm Deirdre Sumpter, and I'm presenting with Ellen Bearn. We're both we have members of the Bethlehem Tondabayashi Sister City Commission. Actually, that's the next slide, isn't it? There we go. There we are, looking attractive. Ellen, if you want to give your bona fides.
Yeah, I've been on the commissions for, I don't even know how long, more than 20 years. When I first came to this area, we lived in Fountain Hill, and Fountain Hill is not Bethlehem. And in that era, you had to be a resident of Bethlehem to be on the Sister City Commission.
Mm.
And we moved into the city of Bethlehem. And the minute we moved, someone I know who was on the commission said, Ellen, you have to be on the commission. So ever since I moved to this house, which was 27 years ago or something, I've been on the commission. And I've been chair 2 times, maybe.
Mm. The once and former chair.
Yeah. And I visited Tondabayashi about 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
In the various times I've been in Japan. Oh, one was actually 2 were invitations of the city of Tondabayashi for 2 different commemorative events when I was chair.
And like, oh, I'm sorry.
No, and now your turn.
Yes, well, I have also been on the Sister City Commission for over 20 years. We moved here in 1999, and actually the first thing I knew about the Sister City is the library used to have a Tondabayashi room. And my husband and I went, oh, Tondabayashi, that's a Japanese name. And so we inquired. And eventually we made the connection, and I joined the commission. I was also briefly president for a couple of years in there. I have not been to Tondabayashi. I hope to go soon. Okay, next slide, shall we? I've completely forgotten. Is that your slide or mine?
I don't know. You just spoke, so how about I speak?
Thanks.
Sister cities, as you probably know, are a big deal in Japan, much bigger deal than they are here in America. So the Japanese side of our relationship is much more active and generous and formal and organized than we are. And the mayor is much more deeply involved in our case on the other side. So on the left person, the person on the left is Mayor Tada, who's no longer mayor now. And the one on the right, I think, is the head of the city council. And the one in the middle, I'm not sure who he is. But the left, the character, the mascot on the left is Toppi, which is Tondabayashi's mascot. And the other 3 are from nearby towns. And they all came to attend this Christmas event that I was invited to. So I took this picture because I was there. And Kobe, Boston, Kyoto, Boston, Kobe, Philly, Osaka, Chicago are some of the better known sister city pairings.
Okay. All right. So our sister city is Tondabayashi, which is part of the Osaka metro area. And as previously mentioned, that's Topi. And then we have the map of the location. Not much to add here. I guess Tondabayashi was at one point a place all by itself, but then Osaka kind of swallowed it up.
And the reason that our 2 cities are connected is that in the early 60s, there was a graduate of Lehigh named Ken Heim, who became an Episcopal priest and went to Japan as an Episcopal missionary. And he met someone or knew someone in Tondabayashi who was a Christian who was at a church, and he said, and being from this area, Ken Heim was asked by some city fathers and mothers, we want a sister city in Japan. Do you know of one? And Ken said, I know the perfect place. So Tondabayashi and Bethlehem were connected then. So the picture on the left, I'm not sure where Joe got it from, but it's an old picture, obviously, and there's Tondabayashi Eki on the left. People we don't know. And then on the right is Mayor Callahan and the rest of us who went one May, I think it was, in 2013. I think I have a date coming up to commemorate the 40th anniversary, something like that, of our relationship. And behind Callahan and me are three former exchange students who came with us.
Okay. Whoops. Oh, come on, you. There we go. And the initial connection between, well, Ellen explained that Mr. Hines had gone over, and one of the things we had in common was that they used to make Christmas balls in Tondabayashi. It was a big manufacturer of Christmas balls for export to the U.S. and other countries. And of course, Bethlehem is Christmas City. So that was the connection.
And there is a river running through this Tondabayashi, as well as us, with hills on either side. So that was also mentioned as a reason.
Another thing we had in common. Also, as you two may not know, Tondabayashi is not the only sister city that Bethlehem has. Bethlehem has, oh gosh, help me out here.
Murska Sobota.
Yeah, in Slovenia.
Yeah.
And then there's a German sister city, Schwabisch Gmünd, which is my favorite. And there's at least one more.
And there's Corfu in Greece.
In Greece.
And there might be another minor one that.
At one point, I think there were 6. But I believe none of the other sister city commissions are as active as we are now. Okay. All right. Oh, darn. Back we go.
One of the more recent trips was visits was in 2014, when Mayor Tada in the upper left, who was in that picture of the mascots, came at the 50th anniversary of Bethlehem Tondabayashi friendship. And at that time, the picture on the left was taken on the Greenway, where we planted 5 cherry trees, and we, the Bethlehem, and prepared I think, a very attractive sign, which is there, a sort of Japanese inspired permanent sign that explains the 50th anniversary commemorative cherry trees. And they timed it. We had to decide on the appropriate weekend, and it was Halloween parade weekend. So I remember Aiko-san, you saw us, right? On the parade route. So the 2 mayors rode in the convertible at the head of the parade, and then the rest of us walked behind. And
carrying the banner.
And Mayor Tada, when I saw him a few years later, said that was one of the highlights of his career, to ride in the red convertible.
And one of the most obvious benefits of our sister city relationship has been that Tondabayashi gave us 60 cherry trees, which were planted around the City Hall library area. And these are some, and they have started to bloom again. Those warm days we had last week and last weekend has started them to bloom. I heard, and I went down to take some pictures, but it just keeps raining. So I'm hoping to get a little picture taking sunshine. There are,
Soon we can all go have a hanami picnics.
Hina. Okay.
And the jewel in the crown of our Bethlehem Tondabayashi relationship is this garden and tea house. And that was a gift from them to us, as with most of these other gifts. And a landscape designer named Sakon came from Tondabayashi to plan and lay out and execute the garden. And at the time, the head of the parks department was a really great guy who somehow just got things done, and often with minimal budget. And he spoke no Japanese and Sakon-san spoke no English, but they got on along like wildfire. And I remember hearing stories that they would go up to the Poconos to go buy rocks. And they would look at rocks and say, this is a good one. This is a good one. Let's get this one. Well, I guess those big, huge rocks in the garden came from someplace in the Poconos, so some kind of landscape place in the Poconos. And the building is a very simple tea house. And we use it for whenever we have students visiting or our cherry festival. And there are tatami that are stored somewhere that the city will lay out. And they're looking pretty shabby. And also fusuma that a friend of mine actually repapered. But the fusuma block so much that we almost never use them because they block the view of the room. So, and at some point in the 90s, maybe, somebody threw a fire, I wouldn't say bomb, but some kind of fire item, and that the whole thing burned. And it was, mayor was Ken Smith, and he had the whole building rebuilt by the Bethlehem carpenters that under the auspices, under the supervision of that parks guy, whose name is Charlie Brown, was Charlie Brown, he's no longer living, but so Charlie Brown had his people rebuild the house with the same specs and construction that the original was. And there is a plaque, as you can see, that describes what a Japanese garden is.
Since none of us are from around here, you'll probably understand how confused I was when I found out that the landscape architect for this was named Sakon. And then I heard about Saucon Valley and Sakon Plaza, and it just really confused me for a little while. Like, was this just a weird spelling? But all right, next. The student exchange program is our longest running activity. Actually, Ellen, do you have any idea how long it's been running?
Well, I have this book, this history book that I think basically 60 years from the beginning.
Yeah, there've been, and we had to take a couple of years off because of what's been going on. But it alternates years. 1 year we send students to Tondabayashi, and the next year they send students here. It takes place in the summertime. When they come here, they usually catch Music Fest. And when our students go there, they catch the major fireworks festival that they have in Tondabayashi.
The first exchange was 1973.
Okay. So we've had a couple of years off because of the pandemic, but we're planning to host again in 2022, and we'll need host families, and we'll be looking for people to go in 2023. And exchange students from here need only to be resident in the Bethlehem area school district. At one point, it was limited to city residents, but that was problematic because the Bethlehem area school district, well, like Freedom has students from both the township and the city.
I think
Right,
even
right.
Liberty isn't all city of Bethlehem.
Right. And then there are the charter schools,
Yes.
and of
Mhm.
course, the
Private.
Moravian Academy.
And
So
the parochial schools.
yeah, so it was good when they expanded it to the school district. That made things a lot easier. Yes, I don't think I had something else to say about that.
We start off our summer visits when they come here with a welcome picnic, usually at somebody's house. So the lower right is the year that those three came, and we had a cake with their names spelled out.
Clearly,
Oh,
they're party animals.
Yeah,
ages. What is it, 16 to 20?
yeah, basically high school age.
Yeah, late high school, early college. So a lot of the students that have come from Tondabayashi have been college students.
High
So
school kids are too busy.
yeah, they really-
That makes sense.
also, we've seen the numbers reduced. We used to send and host 5. It's become increasingly difficult both to get students and to find host families. It's quite difficult. Okay.
So I guess since 2015, skipping last year and skipping this year, we've been hosting a Sakura Matsuri, which is on an April weekend. And we've been growing bit by bit, adding more activities. We have onigiri and yakitori. I guess the first year or two, it was just onigiri, but now we
Yeah,
added yakitori.
no, the first year we had yakitori.
You did? So
Mhm.
in the
Yeah,
white
because
tents,
I was
are the-
manning the grill
Uh-huh.
and I was pounding mochi.
so we have that, and
Thankfully,
we have
somebody took a grill.
origami, mochi, pounding, mochitsuki, and Deirdre has a huge collection of yukata that everybody is up
That
there.
people can try on.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then a tea ceremony, very informal tea ceremony that John, the fellow in the dark outfit on the left, has been
And the
organizing.
jinbei.
So we've had good luck. We've had good attendance over the years. So
Yep, good attendance, good weather. We've been very fortunate.
yes,
Okay.
Except for the pandemic.
yes.
Yeah, but you know, that rain has fallen pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So 2013 is when we went for I think it was 50 years of, maybe 40 years of friendship. I have to look up my book to see what exactly the commemoration was. And the 3 on the left were our former exchange students, and no, this is the 50th. It spread over 2 years. So the 50th, one year it happened in Tondabayashi, and the following year it happened here. So, and I guess by the time 2014 came and they came for that Halloween parade weekend, it was already the next mayor. It was Mayor Donchez.
Oh, good.
End of Callahan's tenure. So
We got more mayors involved. That's good. And at least 2, well, Allison in the center, former exchange student, she's also been a member of the commission for years. And I guess John, since he doesn't live in Bethlehem, is a friend of the commission is how it goes. Okay. And so this is our question and answer discussion.